there was an Alberta pizza place called what was it called? Something Papers? Without Papers. Now, the weird thing about this pizza place, since they're called Without Papers, I wonder if they changed their name recently, because the idea I think is they're saying they're not going to abide by the vaccine passport. So they're doing this without papers. They're not going to check people's papers or whatever. But that's their name, Without Papers. They're a pizza store in Alberta. Last time we checked in with them, they got condemned and police came and took their picnic tables away. They impounded their picnic tables. So they responded by setting up like milk crates, and they're giving the pizza away for free on the street, which tells me that they must be getting funding from like a lot of sources, such that they're just going to be like, we're just going to place random pizzas outside of our store for free for everyone on top of these milk crates as a sign of protest, even though we've been condemned by the police and had our picnic tables impounded. But this is a follow-up, and so we're going to have Adam Sues here, has returned back to the pizza place, and they're going to interview people at a quasi-protest event in honor of this pizza place. And so we're going to hear what some of these people have to say about Without Papers Pizza and protesting the vaccine passports generally. In combination with this, we're eventually going to see David Menzies went to a similar protest in Toronto, and so we're going to see that as well. But here we go.
Adam Sos here for Rebel News, and we are at Without Papers Pizza here in Inglewood in Calgary, Alberta. And the owner here has refused to participate in the mandatory vaccine passport program. Police have already come and issued a number of notices, in addition to taking away the picnic tables that people were enjoying pizza right here in front of the store at. They took those away the other day. Now we're receiving trouble.
I don't know why the video quality is so bad here.
Troubling word that police may come. And
we try to refresh this just in case there's something on my end that's doing this here.
You may very well have thought that the
Jesus Christ, that's like 10 pizzas? Yeah, they're just giving out free pizzas, which tells me it's like, where are they getting the money for this? Like, if they're so in pain, like, I mean, they got condemned. Like, here's the police taking their picnic tables. So they're just, like, throwing out free pizzas when they're not even open to the public? Oh, no, not the police stopping you from enjoying pizza. The worst part is...
I'm going to be right back.
No problem. The worst part of this is the police officer here allowed the assholes to finish eating their pizza, even though they were violating the restrictions, which again feeds into our narrative of like, it really depends on the type of person you are, whether or not the police are going to act very aggressive towards you. So if you look like a conservative old white dude, they're going to be like, please finish violating the law before we condemn these picnic tables. Now I want pizza. One of the pizzas looked kind of gross. It looked like they just threw a bunch of fucking leaves on top of it. Like the spinach one down here. Does not look that great to me, to be honest. What's my favorite kind of za? I'm not a meat eater. I think like prior to meat eating, I liked the classic, just a pepperoni pizza. It was like pretty decent. Or I used to like the ones where it was like pepperoni, mushroom, and green peppers. I was a really big enjoyer of that pizza. Now that I don't eat meat, my go-to sounds a bit weird. So I'm probably going to destroy all of you and you're going to hate me for this. But I enjoy a mushrooms, green peppers, pineapple pizza. Fucking love it. I love it. It's my go-to. It doesn't even have a name. I made it up, and I love it. I could go for a thin or thick crust. That is going to be dependent on the place that makes it. Because you can go to some places, and like there'll be thick crust, and their bread is just not the best, and it's just too much, you know? And sometimes a thin can be nice, because you can get like a nice crispy thin crust. Gotta love that. But say if your bread's really good, I don't mind a thick crust. I actually really like Chicago deep dish pizza. I really enjoy that. Some people don't. I like it. I like a good pie, you know? Police discretion always favors certain people. Indeed. It is now officially called the Jody. It should be, you know? I know a lot of people, like, for whatever reason, like, I don't know why, pineapple on pizza, a lot of people, like, object to that. That's, like, the huge discourse that always happens with it. But, like, the sweet just, like, adds, like, a kick to it that is incredible. You know? You can't go wrong with the sweet.
What is this? Are you guys kidding me?
Fantasy. Thank you for following. I hope you enjoy the gif of David Menzies being attacked by dogs. Thin crust at Domino's, great. At Pizza, not so much. I know this is like blasphemy as well. I don't eat there a lot, but I do enjoy stuffed crust at Pizza Hut. It's fucking incredible. It's like, it's the worst cheese, but it's so good. It's so good. No way a conservative eats spinach on pizza. It is too much spinach, right? Like, that is so much spinach. That, like, nothing about this pizza right here looks at all enjoyable.
The owner here has refused to participate.
Like, that is so much spinach. So much. Thoughts on Boston pizza? Boston pizza is gross, to be honest. Not even pizza at that point. It doesn't even look like there's cheese on it. By the looks of it, conservatives can't even put spinach on a pizza. All right, I'm going to continue. I was waiting for Vienna, but they might be a little bit. Clearly, listen.
A mandatory vaccine passport program. Police have already come and issued a number of notices.
It's also like, you know, sometimes having a weak slice is not a terrible thing, but it's clear that is a weak ass slice. Look at that fucking bend. It looks like the cheese is just about to slide right the fuck off that slice. So not good form. I mean, for one, not good form for this person. You know, you gotta do the bend in the crust, right, to create some sort of structural integrity and get a lift. But maybe the crust is just so weak that you can't get that lift. So so bad form on their part and probably bad on the pizza. You know, that's what I gotta say. Also weird with the weird crust thing going on here, I have to say. We need to crowdfund for a wireless Meist headset for Vienna. Meist? Meist.
Program. Police have already come and issued a number of notices in addition to taking away the picnic tables that people were enjoying pizza right here in front of the store at. They took those away the other day.
Just go,
now we're receiving troubling word that police may come and shutter the doors for good and seize the business. We're going to remain on the scene here today. Sid has been here for a few days covering this very closely, and he's going to be bringing you exclusive reports over the last few days. But we're here on scene today in case the police do indeed come and shutter the doors for good.
Why did, like, if you're protesting, why did they blur the person's face?
In case the police do indeed come and shutter the...
You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones, I mean, maybe this is an employee, so there's like, maybe they didn't necessarily consent, they're just getting their paycheck. But there's an element here in which, like, if you're putting yourself out there to protest publicly, it's not like the police don't know who you are at this point. I guess, like, and, like, why their face, and then they don't blur out any of the people that they interview that say, like, really stupid stuff. I don't know. Interesting. Unless this person specifically was like, I don't want you to film me.
The doors for good.
I love
so
it.
What brings you out to Without Papers Pizza?
I heard they were standing up for our freedoms, so I thought I'd come show some support. I needed to eat tonight, and what better way to spend my money in a place that's standing up for something that's pretty important, I think, to every one of us.
We love Without Papers. We've been supporting them, and their stand on what's going on right now is pretty powerful. They're one of the only restaurants in the city.
They're one of the only restaurants. I love, like, notice, like, the open signs of the other restaurants in the background of this image.
city that actually want to take a stand against the injustice that's happening in our country.
I like that they're just standing up
Injustice.
for people. Like 3-4 weeks ago, it was okay to come here or anywhere without having to be like, hey, here's all my personal details and my medical records. And I just don't agree with it. I mean, people should have the
What personal details are you being asked to give other than just a piece of paper to show that you're vaccinated? What the fuck is she Irish?
Hello.
Personal details.
Wait, can you play your accent again?
I just want to know what like the personal details are. Like you have to like, what size of shoe are you? Whoa, that's too invasive. I do not want you asking me these personal questions.
records. And I just don't agree with it. I mean, people should have the decision. We're all adults. I just wanted to come out today again.
Are we adults?
I can't tell.
I thought initially when I first did a rundown earlier that it was Scottish, but it's clear. I think it is Irish. I'm gonna go.
It could be Welsh. I get fucking all of them mixed up because like
records. And I just don't agree with it. I mean, people should have the decision. We're all adults. I just wanted to come out today again and show my
I think it might be
support.
Glaswegian.
What is it?
I think it might be Glasgow, like Glaswegian.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
Warning.
I get them all mixed up because like it's my whole mom's side. It's like my aunt who married into the family is Welsh. My nana is from New Zealand, but like of like Irish extraction. There's a bunch of cousins that are from Scotland and Australia and Ireland and like everything like that, and it's just like extended cousins, you know. But like all those accents are the same fucking thing to me, unless it's a really thick like, Australian accent. Then I'm like, you are not like us. You are the enemy.
I don't think it was Newfie. Speaking of New Zealand, rest in peace to their wizard contract. They have a wizard contract?
Pardon?
This is New Zealand lore I'm not aware of. And in no woke pizza, we live in a society. Oh no, all the woke pizza places are still open. It's the, I guess, anti-woke pizza that's closed down.
For Jesse and for everything that he's doing for our community and actually making a verbal stand against this. I mean, I know there's a lot of places out there that have been kind of quietly opposing this, but he's the only one that's actually taken a verbal stand against this and said no to discriminations.
Coming out for
I love like it's always the silent majority. There's others out there. They're just out there. They're just being silent. But really, they all agree with us. Sure. A New Zealand city council has laid off the only state-appointed wizard in the world after years of this. God damn it, why would they do such a thing? I know Norway has a state-appointed philosopher, which is pretty awesome. Yes, Simone? Does the pizza look delicious to you? Is that why you're interrupting my stream? All right.
I hope Jacinda hires that wizard for federal politics.
They should be appointed as like a tour guide for all the like Lord of the Rings people who come to New Zealand. I am the national wizard.
After 23 years of service.
I'm pushing play on this for a second here.
a good slice, trying to support a good local business, trying to stay open.
And what do you make of their stand? Clearly, they're not here to talk about politics or to be pro or anti anything.
What does that even mean? Obviously, they're not here to talk about politics or be pro or anti anything. They're making a political... Like, why can't the right wing just admit when they're doing, like, political protest? It's like, clearly, we do have a stand here. We are against being told we should vaccinate during a global pandemic. We don't like that. So we are taking a side. We are saying which side is the right side. The side that says that like we shouldn't mandate vaccines is the side that we've decided to hoist our flag to. But they love to pretend that like that's an apolitical stand, that what they're doing is not politics, that somehow we're like neutral and we're neither saying anything is good or bad. We're just constantly neutral. In the fact that we are making a statement, we are in fact not making a statement.
What they're saying is that they're pro-human being. They're not going to exclude
They're
people
pro-human
or
being.
invade people's medical privacy. What do you make of that stand?
Seems like a
And invade people's medical privacy. You going somewhere and being like, in order for me to get into here, I am consenting to show you my medical history. That's not like the store being like, I'm going to invade your medical history without your consent.
Okay, this is a total side note, but I've spent the past like half an hour trying to find this video, so I'm going to play it. Just for the audio. It is
Context for
Trump's
what?
suicide video after January 6th.
Is suicide?
And it's genuinely just like one of the best. Yeah, it's a fake thing, but it's just so good.
Baron, I'm here to meet my son. I have been defeated. We have been defeated, my sweet child. Swallow this pill with daddy. It'll be over soon. I love you. I love this nation. God bless these great United States. Goodbye, bye. Baron.
It was just final like goodbye bye or whatever at the end. That was just so good.
Goodbye.
Oh my god. It was just final like goodbye.
Oops.
Oh.
Open up Twitch again.
Oh my god. That was pretty good.
Sorry.
That's so good. Now back to invading their medical information.
pretty Canadian sentiment to me that we should all, as Canadians, appreciate, I think. And it's really confusing and disheartening that there aren't more people kind of standing up, and they're like one of the only businesses in the city.
I think it's brilliant. I think
Deanna, do you think it's really that confusing?
Yes, I do think it's that confusing.
You know, it's I think it's pretty obvious that most people are anti the spread of disease. I think that's pretty obvious myself. Very not confusing. Pretty straightforward. I could just be like, hey, you know why other people are not taking a stand? Because they're actually against the spread of a virus that's killing people.
I think it's
No,
one
that sounds pretty confusing to me.
of the purest essence of what I think freedom is, and that expression of that. And I've heard interviews with the owner, and he is that. You know, it's humans are humans, and it's not about a vax passport. It's not about a mask. It's not about any of those details. It's discrimination at its core. It's dividing humans into a binary and saying one's better than the other, and that's what it comes down to. And that's just never historically been useful. I don't think it will be going forward.
I think
It's a binary. You know, it's saying that one group is better than the other. It's a binary. Didn't you know? I just want to say, like, there's people who have a driving license and can drive, and others they can't. We created a binary. I wonder what the owner thinks of people crossing borders without papers. Good point, Nom. Good point. It's just amazing. Like, there's so many just like simplistic, obvious rebuttals to some of the shit. Like my driver's license example, which is like we created a rule which says that you need to like do a bunch of activities before we go. We state sanction your ability to drive a vehicle. And therefore we have a class of people who do not take the test and therefore do not get a driver's license. And so we have a binary. We have a whole group of people who cannot drive and another group of people who can drive. Now imagine if that other group of people who couldn't drive was like, I should be able to drive without those papers. I should be able to drive without training, without any, like, anything to prove that I'm capable of doing so. Like, why aren't we having those protests, you know? But somehow this is the binary that's like so problematic. Like, God forbid we live in a society where we think maybe we don't want disease to spread.
It's important that people try not to be divisive and try to stay as open-minded as possible and look into other people's perspectives, whatever you may agree with. I think that's something that we got to stick together with and make sure we don't divide ourselves even further.
We are
I love, like, there's like this thing is like they're trying to divide us, therefore we need to stick together. We need to stick together against those who are trying to divide us. God damn it, they're so silly. And I wish that they would stop being silly, is what I have to say to all this. I just... Why do these people exist? Why do they exist? They should just stop. They need to stop. It's done. They need to stop.
Aaron, my son, we have been defeated. We have been defeated.
What's that? Are you doing the Trump thing again?
Come take this pill with Daddy. I'm sorry, just like bringing up Trump reminded me of that post, and it took me so long to find it.
Oh, it is top tier. It is top tier.
With and make sure we don't divide ourselves even further.
We are losing our freedoms, and this isn't the pro-vax against vax argument.
Why do they keep saying
our
this?
freedoms are being taken away from us, and companies, whatever you're willing to support, they're not even allowing for that to. You can't stand in your own power. You can't have your own restaurant and run it as you want to as a business owner here in Canada anymore. You have to follow their rules. So it's a pretty powerful thing right now. And so
You had to submit to health inspections before this too, right? Like,
I know. And like, how is that not obvious to them? It's like, Jimmy refused to not wash his hands, and so they shut down Jimmy's Pizzeria. But he's decided to keep it open anyways, even though they've been impounded for the non-washing of the hands. But it's really powerful that Jimmy is taking a stand for freedom by staying open against the police demands that they close, and while he continues to not wash his hands and fondle pizza dough all day.
I think we should try to find some info to go over some stream about the institution of health inspections, health and safety inspections at restaurants, just to see what the small business owner response was.
Like when they were first put in place?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't imagine what hell that must have been.
Oh, especially because I remember
when they were telling the bakers they couldn't put sawdust in the bread anymore.
Yeah. It's not just that. I can't remember what show I was listening to. It might have been The Dollop, and they were they had a bunch of shows just talking about what markets were like back in the day, and how they were just fucking filthy, and people would just wipe their hands on their clothes all day and then continue touching all the food. You know what I mean? So I imagine there would have been some sort of moment where these people who were just filthy as all hell refused to listen to maybe a scientist who was like, hey, maybe we could stop people dying from all these random infections if we just washed our hands, you know? Actually, wasn't that the thing? Didn't they yell at Semmelweis for that? Wasn't Semmelweis the one who came up with the maybe people should wash their hands before delivering a child? And
Was it delivering a child or was it surgery? Because it was one of those.
Surgery. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, no, and and that's within like strictly medical spheres. It probably took like
Oh, it was the doctors doing
a good-
autopsies before delivering the children. I think Nam is.
Oh,
correct.
right. Yeah, that sounds right. But I can't imagine how long it must have taken for that to like get down to regular things or like food related stuff too. Like, and then like let alone common practice versus like actually making it like law or whatever.
I mean, it's
But even then, like men are famous for not washing their fucking hands anywhere. Like,
yeah. It's still wild to me. Even like there's video footage. Like if you go back to the 70s of like news programs that were complaining about seatbelt laws. And about how people are just like, it's restricting my freedom. Why should I have to do this thing that like protects me when like it restricts my mobility? I want the ability to like not be restricted by this thing while I drive.
who was that libertarian economist who was like, "You're sold rotten meat by the meat seller. Then next time you'll just go buy from somebody else."
That's all
type of thing with like the but there was somebody who used like that specific like analogy of like, oh yeah, if you die from food poisoning, then like you'll buy from a different butcher after that.
There was a libertarian that was on the Majority Report recently called Yaron something. And I think he's like he's an Ayn Randian one. I think he's a part of the objectivist movement. He's like one of the higher ups or some shit. Either way, he made some argument where it was like, you should be researching everything before you like agree to something. So it's like, you know, those people who died when the building collapsed in Miami, it's their fault for not choosing or doing enough research to get a different place to live, right? It can't be any of the laws. They should have known that they had a shady inspection.
Know how to conduct architectural safety inspections, because I shouldn't trust anybody else just in case that person's lying to them, because you know the market doesn't guarantee honesty.
Yeah, just wild, just utterly wild.
Yeah, this is the same shit, right? Like,
I mean, it's like amazing to me how like I wish there's a part of me that wants to be there on the ground with them, hear that response, and then follow up with like, well, what do you think about health and safety inspection stuff? Like, I'm just curious what their response to that would be. I know they'll find some way to try to logic their way out of there poorly to square their circle because they're invested in this like emotionally. But I am curious what their immediate response to that would be.
you can ask tomorrow.
Goddamn.
You can ask Chris Guy tomorrow.
Yes, I will personally ask Chris Guy tomorrow. Good point.
We have to support them. Plus, they make great pizza.
We did have more crates, but
so you'll
pizza looks like shit,
behind me there is a pizza party ongoing.
Is that just raw arugula?
I mean that's what I was gonna say. It's like spinach. Oh, it is arugula. I was thinking initially
it's arugula.
Spinach.
Yeah.
What gross
Come on.
pizza?
Identify your greens.
Well, like, so this is earlier on.
Coming to London.
Yeah. Earlier on, it was a further away shot. It just looked like a bunch of green on a pizza.
Yeah, but you should be able to tell by shade alone.
I've seen spinach that shade. Either way, yes.
That's weird spinach.
Chris Guy is coming to London, Ontario tomorrow. And I am likely going to go by to see what's up, maybe snap a few photos. I don't plan on doing anything beyond that because I think Proud Boys are going to be there and like other shit. And so, yeah, it's going to be bad. I guess anyone who's hearing this, who's in London, I would recommend not going to downtown London tomorrow. That would be my bit of advice. I don't know anything. It's going to rain tomorrow too, so it's like it could diminish their numbers. It's just like a bunch of Proud Boys walking downtown London. Probably not the greatest company to keep. Raw arugula.
Is that cheese underneath the arugula? what else is there?
Could be Parmesan. I see white.
There's some
It
like
looks like a
clear
meat.
looking thing.
Yeah, it's like a meat. I think it's like prosciutto. Is that
Oh,
the word?
okay.
Would that be the word?
Okay,
for
yeah,
that?
I guess
Yeah,
so. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks
One of
like.
those kinda
Notice how
things.
no one's touched it. No one's touched it either.
Damn, now I'm already predicted the prosciutto.
No, it doesn't look appetizing.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, some of the pizzas, like, I mean, pizza's pizza. I would totally fucking eat.
Yeah,
one
those
of
ones
these,
don't look bad.
But like,
They look like kind of handmade
the
bullshit
cheese,
pizzas.
the cheese one
like-
doesn't look great. There's something about the coloring of the cheese there, but like, and probably because that, like, since it's a cheese, they were like, we're going for a 3 cheese combo or something.
Yeah, it looks like it has cheddar in it or something.
Yeah.
An orangey one.
Anyways, this is making me want pizza, though. I will admit.
Oh, I want pizza so bad.
Behind me there.
Joe, do you
is
want
a
to go to the
pizza
Chris Guy tomorrow and
party.
get pizza?
Want to go to Chris Guy and get pizza tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why the hell not?
Okay.
Ongoing. There are quite a few people here. It's very,
It did look
very
like Parmesan.
busy at this closed business that would not participate in the vaccine passports program. Meanwhile, adjacent businesses that are participating are completely empty. And he is sort of the
I love this is their evidence. Completely empty. Look at this shot.
and he is sort
Oh,
of
I'm convinced. Based on this evidence, totally, they have to be empty.
Mm-hmm.
I also gotta say, like, a lot of these places look like dinner joints. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they're not busy at whatever time this is. I don't even know what time this is. And maybe they got a lot of, like, delivery orders. Like, who cares? A slice of COVID pizza. No, we're actually, we are going to be carded. Pizza guy? He would be cooler if he was a pizza guy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't eat his pizza. Because I don't think he would wash his hands, to be honest.
the person making that initial push and encouraging people to follow along. What do you say to other business owners who might be in agreement but are afraid to come out and publicly stand in opposition to these vaccine passports?
I would say do what your gut tells you and do what's right. Like we can't
what your
just
gut
sit back
tells
and
you
wait for this to go away.
and do what's
Obviously, it
right.
didn't go away with the masks. It hasn't gone away with the vaccine. Now, everyone that said that there was no vaccine passports coming a year and a half ago, they're here. So this isn't going to end until we just decide that this ends. And I think businesses need to realize that they're going to be held personally accountable. They can't say this was my job, I had to do it. I think at this point, when we're talking about actual real discrimination here, we have to take a stand just as human beings. Forget whether you're a business owner or an employee or whatever. You just have to stand up on your own moral ground.
I love that too, because it's this idea that somehow the city council is going to receive blowback for it. We just went through an election. Did anyone get, like, punished during the election? We pretty much got the exact same results as the previous election, pre-pandemic. So it's not like the pandemic has hurt or helped a single party. You know what I mean? And yet they keep on
I
thinking
don't know.
that...
Albertan municipal elections are like this month, aren't they? I wonder what that'll turn out to be.
The voters got punished. Yeah, we did. And yes, I mean, that would be a
true.
good sign. But, like, look, did you see the poll today that shows the Alberta NDP is, like, soaring through the roof?
Yeah, but like I wonder about the municipal ones because right now it's the municipal governments there that are instituting a lot of the laws because the province refuses to act.
Yes, I mean, it's the councils. I mean, but the thing is, like, a lot of people are reacting as well to Jason Kenney's policies, right?
Inaction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the funny thing. It's like, they're not popular. So it's like, they have to pretend with this, like, silent majority shit. That's all they have.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's like, I wish everyone would just do what their gut tells them. I would say, don't always just follow your gut, okay? Sometimes the gut's wrong. Sometimes follow the brain. Sometimes,
You can always follow your gut if it's craving Diet Pepsi, though.
Oh, listen, we can't be giving away those for free. We got chat points for a reason.
Sorry.
I love how certain
I was
people.
a freebie Diet Pepsi. You don't owe us any money for that one.
I love how certain people will never know or experience true discrimination, whereas a kid, I was placed in ESL despite reading 4 grade levels higher than my classmates. Yeah, but have you ever considered refusing to get a vaccine? That's the real discrimination here. How dare you bring up your legit discrimination when there's people out here refusing to be vaccinated and having to eat their pizza. They're having to eat their pizza on milk crates, Dom. How dare you?
Can you go back to the kinds of people that she mentioned? Because I think she said whether you're a business owner or an employer, and like those are her 2 classifications of people.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
This isn't going to end until we just
Okay,
decide.
But are afraid to come out and publicly stand in opposition
I think
to
it
these
was
vaccine passports.
Yeah.
I would say do what your gut tells you and do what's right. Like we can't just sit back and wait for this to go away. Obviously, it didn't go away with the masks. It hasn't gone away with the vaccine. Now, everyone that said that there was no vaccine passports coming a year and a half ago, they're here. So
people change
this
their
isn't
mind.
going to end until we just decide that this ends. And I think businesses need to realize that.
Actually, we'll still listen to the point you want to make. I'm just saying, like, I like her thinking here, which is that, like, it's not going to end until you just decide it's going to end. And I feel the same way about capitalism. So we're just going to astral project capitalism ending, and we're just going to make it end by saying enough.
We're gonna manifesto it.
Oh! You got it.
That they're going to be held personally accountable. They can't say this was my job, I had to do it. I think at this point, when we're talking about actual real discrimination here, we have to take a stand just as human beings. Forget whether you're a business owner or an employer or whatever. You just have to stand up on your own moral ground.
If not us.
Yeah, it was business owner and employer. Those are the 2 classes of people that need to stand up.
The 2 kinds of people.
Yeah. No matter if you're a human being, like a businessman, an employer.
Signed business owner at birth.
Christ.
Who else? And I think it's really brave for people to do that, be able to step up and do what they believe in.
They're so brave, like fair play to them for doing it. I don't know if I'd be as brave myself, but I really like what they're standing up for, and I want to be here to support them.
It's almost as bad as the
We're right behind you. I mean, yeah, I get.
That feels like Scottish.
Yeah, I get pretty emotional thinking about
it
that.
It does have a hint of Scottish, but I don't know. I was kind of sold on the Irish, but it's all.
She's Scotch-Irish.
I mean, they're gonna kill me now for me saying that, but it's all the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Wait, you're gonna kill me?
Prepare for New World IRA. It's gonna get you.
What if she's both Scottish and Irish, and this is the result of
That's
that?
what I said.
Oh, okay. Fair.
I said, what if she's Scotch-Irish?
No, that's fair.
I really like what they're standing up for, and I want to be here to support them.
Keep it up. We're right
We need her to say you, right? It'll be like, yeah.
behind you. I mean, yeah,
If she's
I get it. Yeah, I get pretty emotional thinking about that, but I think there's something to be said that we're there with them. They need the people, they need the community, they need everyone standing with them.
I want to say thank you for standing up.
Funny thing is, so there's not a ton of people here, for one, like at this protest. And I just noticed some of these people, like this person here, are the same people who were at the last protest. So it's just the same, like, 5 people that show up to all of them. My God. This was the guy who had his father's Japanese internment papers and was like comparing the having to show your vaccination records to get into a restaurant is the equivalent of having to have papers for being interned in this country.
I want to say thank you for standing up and keep it going, because there's a lot of people out here, I think, that maybe they don't like to show their faces, that appreciate it, and I think they might be representing more people than they know.
This is standing.
Is that a fuck him to the Japanese guy? Because if so, yes, I agree. I mean, I feel bad for what happened to his father, but like that doesn't give you an excuse to compare those two things. It's not the fucking thing.
In your power right now, and I think that's all you can do is have your conviction and know that you're living in your truth, whether people believe what's happening or not. It's like we actually know that this is our truth. Our freedoms are on the line, and don't waver. And I'm so proud of them, and I'll support them 100%.
We're here to support.
Just living in your truth. What about all the people living in their truth that want governments to implement vaccine mandates?
What city is this in?
Inglewood is what they said. Inglewood,
I don't know where
Alberta.
the fuck that is.
Neither do I. Maybe it's like a suburb of a bigger city?
Yeah, because if it's a suburb of like Alberta or Edmonton or Calgary,
yeah. That's my guess?
yeah, then like
That's my guess.
we need to like find some people that are local to it to just like go in wearing masks and
Well,
yeah, it's a neighborhood in Calgary. You just get some people go in with masks and just grab all the boxes of pizza and like go hand it out to like actually needy people.
They had somebody last time, it was funny, that like started criticizing Rebel News pretty good. And they aired it. We covered it last time. It'll be posted. I think it's already posted up on our YouTube, but they had a guy show up and be like, "Oh, hello, Rebel. What are you, producing more lies?" Pretty good.
God.
For you, there is a huge community of people. You know, I'm really actually good friends with Carrie and Marla from Outlaws and Chris Scott, and
like here's the person who only thinks of business owners and employers as like the two categories of human beings. All her friends are the people who own these stores that are refusing, like the people who protested the initial lockdowns and are now protesting the vaccine mandates. Those are all her friends. Isn't that wonderful? So it's like, of course, she's the one who goes out of her way to stand in solidarity with this pizza shop that's doing the same damn thing.
And you know, like we're sticking together, and I don't think any of us are willing to back down. Even these people who have already stood up and, like you said, have lost their businesses and lost their livelihoods. None of us have given up on these people, and none of us will. So all we can say is thank you, and just encourage everybody else to show support and stand up now and stop allowing these things to happen to these business owners who are being brave and standing up for us.
So brave.
Well, people are still standing here with a growing crowd showing support for the owner of
Really
Without
raining right
Papers
now, too.
Pizza. They are applauding his strong stance and his willingness to stand for fundamental human rights and to say that all humans are equal and welcome. They continue to bring free pizza out, and what is very much a pizza party for freedom continues here in Inglewood. Our very own Sydney Fazard will be here to cover this story throughout the evening. I want to thank you all for tuning in to at least this portion of the story, with more certainly to come. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos.
Remember, he came here with the intention that the police were going to shut it down, and the police didn't do it. So again, the ineffectual police. But we'll see. We'll see if they continue the pizza thing. But I did want to show one last, and this is more for you, Vienna. The last little bit here. There's a surprise ending, if you will. A surprise ending.
Okay.
If you agree with the owner of Without Papers Pizza that human beings should not be segregated or discriminated against, go to fightvaccinepassports.com.
I enjoy this place. I enjoy any business that stands up for freedom.
Is there a way of announcing that Mocha got fired?
No, I don't know. But he's just chilling, eating some pizza. No, it still says that he's the chief videographer. I want to change him. I wanted to come.
I don't think he can. I don't think he's capable of being changed.
Poor Mocha.
I want more villain monologues from him.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.